Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and this is part 2 video and blog about a very difficult, very important to understand Mars transit from the 20th of June 2020 until February 2021. The Mars transit will bring us period after period of extreme irritation and frustration. And basically, as my part 1 video explains in a lot more detail, our divine mission is to understand what is causing us the frustration, because what is causing us the frustration is actually blocks, life scripts, blocks, consciousness blocks, blocks to our manifesting a special talent and a special skill. So that is the agenda that I identify for this long Mars transit. And I've gone into the handling of it in detail in part 1. But here in part 2, I want to go through the 10 time phases of the Mars transit so that you can see where you are in them, and this brings us much better understanding, particularly when we're at some of the really dicey phases, like when Mars is in the Gandanta zone, the very immaterial and insubstantial zone where Vedic Pisces gives way to Vedic Aries. And indeed, also at this time, Ketu is in a Gandanta zone. So the combination of Mars and Ketu in Gandanta zones is huge, as I've expressed in part 1. So before I go into the dates, just very briefly to summarise, Mars enters Vedic Pisces, where he's debilitated on the 20th of June. He then enters Aries, where he's the over-the-top warrior. He then turns retrograde, and Mars retrograde is frustrated and angry and determined to blow aside blocks to true life expression. And 3 times in that transit from Pisces to Aries, Aries back to Pisces, and Pisces back to Aries, Mars is in the Gandanta zone, which I told you about. It's a long and tortured journey. At times the dark will really seem to be rising, and remember, these energies express on the social level as well. The dark is rising at this time, but at the same time these energies give so many of us an opportunity to embrace more light. So let's look at the 10 phases. Mars entered Vedic Pisces on the 20th of June 2020. And this is like the wonder of the sidereal zodiac of Vedic astrology, that it so accurately expresses the sign where Mars will be so unstable, fearful and inflammatory. How did you feel at that time following the 20th of June? Mars reached 7 degrees Vedic Pisces by the end of June, and reached 25 degrees Vedic Pisces by the end of July. Now there's a wonderful ephemeris and many charts on the month-by-month web pages in my Star Wheel Astrology website. So look at June and July pages if you want more detail on this. But Mars headed into the Gandanta zone, which is at the very end of Pisces and the beginning of Aries, on the 11th of August. Generally speaking, Gandanta energy can be felt up to 2 degrees either side of the sign transition point. But the closer the planet is, whether natally or transiting, the closer it is to the 0 point, the vastly more strongly we experience the Gandanta effects on a planet. And then on the 16th of August, obviously look at the blog to sort of take this in more easily, Ketu joined the maelstrom. Ketu entered another of the 3 Gandanta zones, the one from Scorpio to Sagittarius. And this is unbounded and chaotic, terrible storms and earthquakes, vulnerable and inflammatory. And yet it can be hugely inspirational. As I said in part one, I did totally unexpectedly and unplanned a shamanic journey which utterly revealed to me what I should be focusing on to manifest my proper self and proper talent at this time, and what blocks I needed to demolish to allow that. But back to the timetable, phase 4, Mars direct in Aries, can be violent, can be super strong, does need divine awareness to direct it. Negatively, it's aggressive and driven, combative, rash. But then on the 10th of September, phase 5, Mars turned retrograde, and Mars retrograde is a violent, irritable energy. Phase 6, retrograde Mars returned to the Gandanta zone between Pisces and Aries. Phase 7, Mars was retrograde in Pisces, the sign of his debilitation. So that's from the 4th of October, entering into the Gandanta on the 7th of October. But on the 14th of November, Mars will actually turn direct at 21 degrees Vedic Pisces. So that's phase 8. And phase 9, yes, Mars returns to the Gandanta for the 3rd time, leaving Pisces and entering Aries. Big things will happen then. And phase 10, Mars enters Vedic Aries on the 24th of December, reaching 18 degrees Vedic Aries by the 31st of January, and the end of Aries, 30 degrees Vedic Aries, on the 21st of February. So all during Mars's transit through Aries, we will experience, fighting and aggressive and violent side, but positively, the ethical needed leadership of Mars needs to be reached for. Positively, Mars is pioneering an independence, which we need. So, I certainly suggest you follow parts 1 and part 2 and really learn to understand how this super difficult, super important Mars transit is affecting you at the different times. Identify what is the talent that you are trying to express now. Identify what blocks do you need to smash aside now to allow that talent to be given priority and to shine. There's a revolutionary new moon, a new full moon on October the 31st, conjunct Uranus. 31st of October, full moon conjunct Uranus. That especially could be the revolutionary gate opening to the fuller realization of our special talent that I'm talking about. So get a reading, an astrology reading from me, if you want more help about these 10 phases, about your blocks, about your special talent. And look at the many healing modalities my wife Maggie Pashley offers worldwide. The website links are at the foot of this blog post. So may I wish you a successful navigation of at times very, very turbulent, stormy waters, and successful arrival at the manifestation and shining of a special talent because you have been able to overturn your blocks. Thank you.